All right, thank you. First, I want to give all of you a round of applause for sticking with us into the afternoon. I know afternoon sessions are always the funnest, so it's great to see so many folks still here after lunch with bellies full of tasty brownies. So kudos to all of you for sticking through for almost the whole day. So first off, I want to give a big thank you to Ron, Kerb, and Don Sullivan. They had some very kind words to say about the Oklahoma Transportation Library. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the library, who we are, what we do, and how we try to work hand in hand with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation to help further research with ODOT projects, as well as work on our own research projects, because at the end of the day, we are also a research library as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are, what we have, what we do, and some of the projects that hopefully will get you excited as well about the potential opportunities. All right, so that's a little bit about us very briefly. We started life, I think, in the basement of ODOT with all of the collections and materials that the Department of Transportation used to have. Eventually, ODOT contracted with Langston University to house these collections and contract with the university to take care of all the materials that ODOT had accumulated over the years. This includes research reports, state reports from other state DOTs from across the country, reports from universities and projects and conference proceedings, like conferences and agendas like this conference you're attending here. We have so much information in our library, both physical and digital, around 18,000 items in our collection. So we started off life at Langston University, but eventually moved to the university in Oklahoma. I think Dr. Zaman can correct me, around 2013 or 2014. It's when we moved to OU. And since then, I'd like to think we've hit the ground running with new projects and things that we have come up with. So 18,000 items in our collection, a little bit about those items. Again, we have research reports, NCHRP reports from the TRB, TRR, any state government transportation related report we have a copy of, usually in physical, but also in digital as well. We try to pride ourselves on anything that we have physical in our item. We try to keep a digital backup as well. So you can search our catalog and find any item in our collection and download a PDF of it. And if we don't have a PDF, you can shoot us an email and we'll put that item at the top of the queue to make sure you have a digital version of that file. We also have historical soil surveys from every county in the state. We also have a historical map collection as well. We have a lot of history at the Oklahoma Transportation Library that is representative of ODOT's history as well. But not just history, we have a lot of cutting edge research. I think a lot of you may be wondering, in the age of Google, why do you need a library? Why do you need a librarian? But I think as much as is true for public libraries, how they've become so much more than just a place where you go and get physical books, so too as the Transportation Library becomes so much more with the resources that we offer. For a little bit of context, there used to be a state DOT library in practically every DOT in the country. I think we're down to around 20 or 25 DOT libraries left. And so we realize we are a shrinking group, and more folks are not seeing the value of a transportation library or of a library in general. I think you're seeing that culturally as well in modern society. Again, you have Google, why do you need a library? Why do you need a librarian? So hopefully we can change some minds a little bit, some hearts and minds with this presentation and what we can offer for you, maybe as a PI, maybe working for the city, for the state DOT. Like, we can do some things for you, and I'd like to talk about that. So who can use the library? Anyone, honestly, whether you're in the public sector, whether you're private, whether you're state, you have a stake in this library. We want to be your library. Whether you're an engineer from chemical, electrical, any type of engineer, civil, we have materials for that. And the pitch that I give to students and other folks interested in careers in transportation is, you don't have to be an engineer to get into transportation. So much of business, of law, of management, everything touches transportation. And so trying to get people excited about careers in transportation, I always say visit a library and search for transportation and then whatever adjective you want to fill in the blank. And you'd be surprised how many topics that transportation touches. I mean, you work in the field, it touches everything. And we like to say our collection is reflective of that. So no matter you work in geotechnical or materials or any other area, we have topics and information on that, curated from not only within ODOT, but from sources across the country. One other project that we've been expanding on is PE and FE exam study materials. So if you or you know someone in your office who is studying for the PE exam, we can help. Those books are expensive. Believe me, we just bought a lot, finishing out our fiscal year spending for, at the end of September. We purchased a lot more materials than what is shown in this one picture. I think we've probably doubled the quantity of PE study exam materials. So if you know someone, we have books for them. They're totally free. Come take advantage of it. We are located on the campus of the University of Oklahoma in Norman, but that doesn't mean we don't do deliveries. ODOT pays our budget, and that allows us to be able to go and do a trip to maybe an ODOT field office or wherever you are. If it's in the city, if it's in Edmond, the training center, anywhere you are in the state, we can send items and materials to you. So again, if you're studying for the exam or know someone who is, boy, do we have a lot of free books for you. So please take advantage of this great opportunity. Again, other ways on how we serve the Oklahoma Department of Transportation. If you're a PI or a researcher and you need help finding information or materials, or you have a topic in mind and want to do a lit search, what I always like to tell folks who are engineers at ODOT, especially in management, why pay an engineer's salary for them to do a search when you can pay a librarian's salary for us to do the same search for you, maybe save a little bit of money on the side. We know the search terms, we know what to look for, and we can package it in a very nice way and send it to you. For reference, we consult with the Transportation Research Thesaurus, which is run by the Transportation Research Board. That's 10,000 or 15,000 terms of transportation metadata that they know how to search and find. And by extension, we know how to find that stuff too. So we have data banks, we have resources, we have metadata that we do searching. What I'm saying is, don't spend your time finding stuff. Reach out to us and say, hi, I need everything in the last 5 years on this topic, and we can find it for you and send it to you. And again, this is free. This is paid for by ODOT, so please take advantage of that. It is free to you to use as an employee of ODOT and as anyone who has an interest in transportation. We also do scanning, copying, and printing. Copyright allowed. If you have a material that's digital, born digital, but you want a physical copy, believe me, I know how nice it is to have a physical item in hand to turn the pages and look at something. We can print that out for you. We can even bind it for you. If you have a ratty old book with a spine that is deteriorating, guess what? We have 1,000 binder strips that we can bind that for you and make it look like new. So we are an in-house publishing. We do printing, we do binding, and essentially we take all of ODOT's research, all the latest research reports, and manufacture that into a physical item. We post it online to disseminate it, and we also produce a physical copy of that work and can send to you straight to your location. So anything that ODOT produces, we can make a copy and send to you, both physical and digital. All right, another thing, and this is a very weighty subject. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, though, but if there are any PIs in the room who've done a report for ODOT, odds are you may have gotten an email from me. So maybe you have a picture. You can actually put a picture to the face and start throwing tomatoes or darts at a board, because I will send you an email talking about you need your report to be Section 508 compliant. And it's a very onerous thing to do to make sure that it is accessible and compliant. What this actually means, federal regulations are coming down now where within 2 to 3 years, every single item that you post that is on a public-facing website that's funded by public funding, like an ODOT research report or a PI's report at a university, is going to need to meet Section 508 requirements. And I'm going to be the one to reach out and try to make sure that that is accomplished. Section 508 means it needs to be accessible by differently abled individuals. For example, if you're colorblind, or if you need a screen reader, or this and that, this is what we do to make sure that that document is accessible. I'm going to go over very quickly some brief examples. The pictures may be hard to see, and again, maybe we can relate that to accessibility. Maybe the images need to be larger. Again, that's a point in accessibility. A lot of folks like to do pie charts in their project reports. It shows a lot of good data, but they only use color as the main signifier of the difference between data points. What happens if you're colorblind and that color wheel where you see blue, purple, and green, it starts to look like the grayscale image, and then it's like, well, what are those data points? I can't really read that. So that's what we help with. That's how we make sure your figures and your images, they have the proper identifiers to make sure it meets Section 508 requirements. And again, it's onerous, but it's coming from the federal government, and whether you do it now or do it later, eventually you'll have to do it, and then you'll probably have to talk to me. So again, we can help you with that. We're experts in that. We're national leaders in this area, and that is one of the services that we do for ODOT. Other items that we have a website, we have a catalog, and we have a virtual library. Very quickly, I'm going to go through these. Our website, if you go to oktl.org, this is the main website that you can see latest news and updates. I think our last update was talking about OTRD. You can find quick links and resources and all sorts of cool things, and access to our catalog. Fully text searchable. There's a simple search. There's an advanced search. Again, no matter what topic you're interested in researching, you can type it in and find an item related to that. Again, 18,000 items. And we like to say, if we don't have a copy of it, then we can find someone who does. Also, during COVID, we found a lot of people couldn't visit the library, so we created a virtual library space. This is completely navigable by clicking on buttons and links to take you through a virtual tour around the library. Joni Seymour was very kind enough to record a message welcoming you to the virtual library. So if for nothing else, you should check that out to see her message. It's really awesome. So again, you can click on links, you can navigate the library, find different spaces, access resources. We have all of ODOT's research here. It's kind of a fun tool to explore the library. Also, again, we're a research library, not just focusing on publications, but doing our own research as well. And we partnered with several different organizations, most notably the National Transportation Knowledge Network, which is an organization of all the other state DOT libraries in the country. We're also partnering with the National Transportation Library on projects, and we're also spearheading our own project with ODOT as the lead, Transportation Pooled Fund TPF 5-442. That's a lot of letters and numbers, but what that means is we've joined with 18 other states in the country, 18 other state DOTs, to figure out how do we make libraries better? How do we make bringing resources to people better? And how do we disseminate the knowledge that we currently have? I know that's very hard to read, but that shows we have $1 million in funding and 18 other states committed to this project. And so what this means, what this does for you, we have digitized thousands of items related to transportation research that was not available before. So when you have time after this meeting, go to the oktl.org and you're going to find a link for this pooled fund study, and you're going to see thousands of DOT items from New York, from Texas, from Oregon, from across the country, going back to the 1800s. Whether you're interested in current history or way back in the 1800s, you're going to find materials related to state departments of transportation. So even for current research, or if you're a history buff, it's stuff that's never been available before, but only is now because of the pooled fund. Also, we do work on LibGuides, and what a LibGuide is a topical resource of quick links on a website. Think of it like, I want to learn about what's the latest in managing research data for public access. We created a LibGuide for that of what are the latest resources? How do you access it? What's the latest practices for that? So think of it like a guide. You're interested in a topic, we've created a guide for it. So think about in your own state department of transportation, in your own organizations, what are topics you're interested in that you might like to see an online guide for? We can create that for you. We have the resources and the technical know-how. I'm telling you, put us to work. We're sitting up there, doing library work every day, and it brings us so much joy to have someone come up and say, well, I'm looking into, UHPC, for example, or I want to know about bridge design. Let us know about it. We can find the resources, we can package it, and we can create a cool LibGuide posted online for you as well. So you can visit the Oklahoma Transportation Library. We're located in Carson Engineering Center on the second floor, room 213. Our hours are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, and you can contact us. I'm the senior librarian, Michael Molina. Katie Widman is our extraordinary librarian as well. We're a room of 2, so we work hard. We're small but mighty and like to punch above our weight. So contact myself or Katie. Our email is odot-library@ou.edu. So again, you're interested in a research project, you want to know about a topic, or want to get connected in the national scene of what other people are doing, we know folks. We know every other librarian in the country who works on this with other state DOTs. So I think I might be over my time. I do have a tendency to do that. But again, if you have any questions or want to contact me, we're always happy to help. And again, it is totally free. So your tax dollars pay for us, so might as well use it. So thank you.